Hey, welcome to another episode of Leader Feeder. I'm Suzanne Jacques, here again with Kirk Langford.
Hello, Suzanne. How you doing?
Good.
Almost forgot my name there.
I know. I was going to say, I didn't almost just forget
After
your
almost
name.
3 years of working together, I guess it's just one of those days, eh?
Yeah. So an important thing I wanted to bring up today is tomorrow is actually International Human Resources Day.
Oh, yes,
that's May
right.
20th.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Make sure that you do
Hug
something
a human
nice.
resources professional.
Well, I don't think you should be. I'm not sure that might not
Yeah,
go with
not
HR,
the right way to go.
but
No.
definitely thank
Yeah.
them. Yeah, or maybe try to show your appreciation in whatever way
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can.
Well, we work with lots of HR professionals, HR coordinators, managers, HR generalists, and so we know that the hard work they do to try to make the teams better for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. So today on Leader Feeder, our topic is the value of embracing workplace diversity. So my first question is, what does it mean to have a diverse team?
It's a good question because I think there's a lot of maybe confusion and just a lot of different definitions of diversity and how kind of intense it gets or not. When I think of diversity, when we talk about diversity in our training, it's really just coming together of different opinions, ideas, and backgrounds to generate more ideas, more solutions to problems, just looking at things from different lenses. So, having a diverse team is a team that, it could be people from different ethnicities or people who speak different languages, but it can also just be people of different ages, people of different technical ability, people of different years of experience, people coming from different industries, just anything that instead of everyone kind of having the exact same credentials, the exact same experience, people come to the table with different experiences, different skills, different knowledge. That's really what we think of when we think of a diverse team.
So how can that help improve my team then?
I'd say the two biggest things probably are problem solving and innovation. Because if we have a problem and we're looking at it all from the same lens, we are less likely to come up with creative solutions or different solutions. And when it comes to problem solving, one of the pieces we need to remember is that it's not always about immediately identifying the solution. It's about identifying multiple solutions. And that's important because if the first solution we tried to solve the problem doesn't work, we need to be able to pivot to the next one. So we don't just want to come up with the golden plan A. It's plan A, and what's plan B, and what's plan C and D, so that, when a machine goes down, we don't just go, well, we tried Tim's suggestion and it didn't work. I guess we'll just sit on our hands until the problem, someone else fixes it. No, it's okay. Tim's plan didn't work. What do we have next? What's plan B, C, D, E, so on and so forth. And so what a diverse team brings to, or how it benefits is that Tim might have an idea, and then you have an idea, and then Diane has an idea, and then, Pervez has an idea, and it's like, okay, let's rank those in terms of order we think are going to work and just try them all out if we need to. And so that's one piece. And then again, that comes into the innovation. How do we improve and change? Well, we tend to do that from getting different ideas or external ideas even sometimes. So how does it improve the team? I think it creates stronger problem solving on the team because it's a more creative team, which then breeds innovation. It breeds this sense of coming up with new and different ideas, not just to solving problems, but also just to going about our everyday work and improving our systems, our processes, and our products and our services.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And like you said, the multiple solutions, almost like a contingency plan. Is there a lot of contingency?
100%.
Right? Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Awesome. So we know being a leader isn't always that easy.
Yeah.
So what kind of difficulties might come from having or from managing a more diverse team?
Yeah, there's definitely can be a negative side. One of the big things is that if you have a team that's very homogenous, meaning that people are mostly the same, so maybe you have all men on your team, and maybe all of those men are around the same age and grew up around the same area. If we have more homogeneity on the team, we're more likely to think similarly, which can be easy when we want to try to be proactive and think, okay, what are people going to think about this? How are they going to handle it? Well, if I know that people tend to be more similar, they probably have a lot of the same values. And so it can be easier to manage when people are more similar, for sure. 100%, right? It's like, think of, if you own a pet and you own 3 of that same animal, you kind of know some of their behaviors, even though they act a little bit different, you know some of their behaviors and things to do and not to do. If you have 3 different pets, you have a dog and a cat and a snake, each one of those pets requires really different care and really different strategies for keeping them healthy and safe and whatnot. And so I think the difficulty, or one of the difficulties of managing a more diverse team, is that you've got, people with maybe very different opinions and different ways of doing things and different values and different experiences. So trying to not read their minds, but just trying to get consensus on something can be harder. There's probably potentially a higher likelihood of conflicts. And so it's important as a leader that we don't see conflicts as this terrible thing we need to run away from, and we just want to be non-confrontational. Instead, we want to say, hey, conflict can be good because it means that there's different ideas coming out of the woodwork and we're trying different things. So how do we manage conflict constructively? So I would say there's a chance for more conflict. There's a chance for differing values, different opinions. So getting consensus can be harder. And that can obviously be a challenge to a leader, where as a leader, you just want things to flow. You want people to get along and you want the work to get done. So those would be some of the challenges I'd say that could come up as a leader of a more diverse team.
Great. We have had this conversation not that long ago, or not like this same conversation, but we were talking not that long ago about managing different people on the team. So, and there's also, I believe we talk about like situational leadership, and how different people, or how you approach or teach different people. Would you be able to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. So situational leadership essentially says that depending on the situation, you need to adapt your leadership style.
Oh, so maybe not quite the same then. I think that's what I was trying to think of, is I guess that is a situation.
Well, keep in mind though that, a situation could also be how you deal with a specific person in a specific situation.
Okay,
so I think it connects in that, if you have people coming from a leadership style that they're used to, and your leadership style is really different, then it's going to take time for those people to adapt to your style, whereas the existing members on your team are maybe quite used to your style. So that's another thing that diversity can bring about, is you might have one leadership style. Well, everybody has a leadership style, but you might have a team that has already sort of bought into your leadership style. You bring someone new into the team and they've maybe been used to a different leadership style. It can be hard for them to adjust to your style, and even to you adjusting to what they need as someone on your team. And so situational leadership can come into play in the sense that, it's not just the situation, but it's also how you manage different people on your team as well.
Thanks. Yeah. And now that we're talking, it's kind of coming back to me more, because you also had mentioned something about, once you get to know people on your team and, their backgrounds or what they're good at and what motivates them.
Yeah, sure.
How you can leverage that.
100%.
With
leverage
the
their
other
strengths.
People on their team to do things like cross-train.
Exactly. Cross-train, but also like if I'm recognizing that on my team, I have a lot of people that when there's a problem, they tend to kind of sit back and wait for someone else to take action. And then I bring someone else onto my team. I get to know them a bit and I find, they're actually quite ready to take action when there's a problem. They don't always have the best solution, but they're willing to lead in those times. Maybe I know that someone else on my team is a bit of a problem solver, but doesn't tend to step up. Well, now I have a good problem solver, but I have one that's willing to lead the team through the problem. What a great connection. What a great pair that those two could be in a problem to help lead the team through it.
Right.
And so by finding out the different strengths on your team, and different areas of expertise and whatnot, and the experiences they have, you're going to have a stronger team, because then you can pull on those different strengths when there's a problem in certain situations, like you said, in order to cross-train. Lots of great different situations where that diversity can be beneficial to you.
Great. So diversity not being, maybe like a set number. Or, like a KPI, it's not easily measured. How would you gauge the impact of a more diverse team?
Ooh,
how would you know?
Good question. How would you know whether the diverse team is really helping or whatnot? Yeah. I'd probably go back to two pieces that I mentioned earlier, which are problem solving and innovation. And this is still a little bit abstract. It's not necessarily super tangible and something you can hold on to, but it is something you can think about, which is How were problems being solved before my team was more diverse? Were we running into the problem where we weren't coming up with lots of different solutions and we were just trying the same things and they weren't working? So has diversifying my team, and again, when I say diverse, I don't mean necessarily different ethnicities or religion. I mean different people with different years of experience, maybe experience in different industries or different departments, different ages. There's lots of ways we can look at that. So it's just people with different backgrounds, whatever that might be. So when I look at my team now, my more quote unquote diverse team, are they able to solve problems more efficiently and effectively? Are they able to think of different situations, different scenarios, different resolutions to problems than I felt they were able to do before when it was a more homogenous team? And innovation on the team. Are we thinking of more neat ideas, and is more stuff coming out of the woodwork that wasn't compared to what was happening before? So I think those are two initial gauges anyway to get a sense of is what has been the impact of diversity on the team. I would say that problem solving and innovation.
Great. Thanks so much, Kirk. Thank you for always bringing your expertise to the table every time.
My pleasure.
I'm sure our listeners gain so much value from
hopefully,
listening to. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I love
certainly.
talking to you, so we'll do it anyway, but hopefully it's also helping other folks as well.
I enjoy our conversation.
Thanks, Suze.
And thank you for joining us on Leader Feeder today. We will see you next time.